Hey there. For today's distinction, I'd love to talk about why a diversity dinner from my first year of work is still working on me today. See, I started working at a global consulting company, one of the big four, and they had a tremendous way of bringing in new employees. In fact, every time there was a milestone for you, every time you got promoted, you went off with a number of other people who got promoted that year. And they created this entire week long experience to help you quickly accelerate the skill sets that are necessary at that level. And so, my first week on the job, they held a special event. The event was a diversity and inclusion dinner that was offered to all the analysts that were there. When I entered the dinner, uh, it was actually quite interesting because what I saw, I'm realizing in this moment, I'm not sure if it was offered to everyone. I know that I got an invitation. But when I entered into the room, what I saw was that the other analysts in the room were all people of color, and the leaders were predominantly white and predominantly male. Um, and it was really interesting being in that space there because I had spent a lot of my life pushing away any labels related to race or how I looked on the outside because I felt it was an instant disqualifier, an instant limiter. And yet, for over a decade, this story, this one instance, this one dinner has stayed with me. And it wasn't until the other week that it started to make sense as to why. You see, at that time, it was the start of my career. And the organization, which is actually a leader in the forefront of diversity and inclusion, was creating space to let me know that I mattered and that this concept was something they were actively looking into and actively fostering around. And being in that room, I remember at that time, there was a part of me that loved to be different. There was a part of me that loved like the challenge of it all. And so being in that dinner really served me from the standpoint of showing me that I had basically two options. Either the option I leaned into was this room may not be made for you. Leadership here may not be made for you just yet, but you can be one of the people who changes the demographic of this room. You could be someone in here that could really not be a representative and shine a light as to what's possible for others. And on the other side of it, it was a reminder that, or at least a reminder of the system that we were in. A reminder of like you may not you may not be able to be successful here just naturally on its own. And that's really interesting because I do believe that part of what allowed for the success was being able to see the various challenges and choosing to be the outlier, the one, the only, or one of the few who actually was able to be successful in these environments. But I do also note that I left the system of a corporation for many different reasons, but most of it feeling because of the feeling of being limited. And it's very interesting that this is becoming online for me here in terms of why an experience like this that was designed to help me feel like I'm being ushered in also served in a completely opposite experience, the opposite effect. Now, look, here goes the deal. Now that I've shared this story, I wanted to bring this out to you and see how can we make some connections for you and the things that you're going through. What I am not suggesting is to not have a diversity and inclusion dinner because someone might see it a certain way. This is part of my own journey along the way, right? And I acknowledge that at the time, what it served was a way for me to feel energized toward being the one. There's only space for one. There's only space for a few. Like that was how I operated, and so it served its purpose from that perspective. But I'm also sharing it right now to give you a chance to see various ways in which the potential systems and programs and the way that things have been might be able to be seen and interpreted in different ways based on the people who are there, based on their experiences. And more importantly than this, like, because there's no part of me that wants to bring out any additional fear that keeps you from taking meaningful action. Instead, it's to call out and give you a chance to see where in your organization or in the things that we consider normal and good are we also perpetuating a story or creating or showcasing something that may not be truly what you're serving. So for me, it showed up in this dinner. I think that more than anything else, there's an element here that I'm grateful that it's that I had that experience. It stayed with me for over a decade out of all the other experiences that I've had in life. And I want to bring it up in case there's any way that I could serve you through my experience. So the next 24 hours here, just to help you move this forward here, I would love to invite you to find one instance in your life, a memory that you've had from your past that for some reason or another has stayed with you. It might be a professional memory, it might be a personal memory, but something that has really stayed with you over time. I'd like to just ask you to ask this question. How has that experience contributed to either what you're doing right now or the mission, purpose, and projects that you feel called to bring to life at this time? How has it influenced what you're doing now or what it is that you are creating? And just take some time to see how there may be a connection there for you, and to see if there's any power in being able to share that story with someone else at a later date. The purpose of this video here is to just provoke some thoughts, to get you to see things from a different perspective and to equip you with various lenses. If you're looking to see how you can actually go ahead and implement this and take this from a concept and turn it into a way that you can apply it into your world, well, then we need to enter your world. And we do that by being in real time and dealing with our real world challenges. And the best way I can do that for you right now is by giving you an opportunity to come and experience what we do inside of the Trailblazer Tribe. We spend time with individuals really on their real issues. We help people discover their stories. We help people leverage their experiences in order to make meaningful, lasting change. If that's something you're interested in, just go to nyamaashong.com/tribe and sign up to join the Trailblazer Tribe. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation and deepening this conversation. Here goes the deal. You got this, and we got you. I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Onyama here. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and then go ahead and leave one of your insights from today's video in the comments below. If you're looking to take this deeper, you can go and watch another video, or you can go to nyama.com/tribe to get exclusive invitation to our tribe member only events. I'll see you soon.